Well, Pacelli and Boomer, they're grizzled and gray, talking about Star Wars from back in the day. Got a talk show called Geeky Geezers, it's true, spinning old tales about the stuff that went through. From Atari to Trek, they know every line. Geeky Geezers, man, they're feeling just fine. Late Savvy's got a lightsaber, swings it with pride. Boomer's got a game but plays it deep in the night. They're ranting about He-Man and old X-Men too. On Geeky Geezers, they're the nerdiest crew, talking Transformers toys that twist and they turn, singing blues for the geek life, their hearts still burn. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the seams. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're sitting in the studio, mics turned up loud, reminiscing about Super Friends, feeling so proud. Pacelli loves Spider-Man, Boomer's for Hulk. They argue about Star Trek with passion and both. From Betamax tapes to their old D20s, Geeky Geezers where the nostalgia flows. They got fans in the chat, from the young to the old, tuning in to hear stories that never get cold. Talking Ghostbusters, Proton Packs, toys in the box, and Saturday mornings with cartoons that rocks. Pacelli and Boomer, they're keeping it real. Geeky Geezers with that old school feel. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're singing the blues for the games that they play, for the VHS tapes and the arcades that pray. But the spirits are young, though their hair's turning white. Geeky Geezers keep the nerd fire alight, so tune in each week to the Geeky Geezers show, where Pacelli and Boomer let the good times flow. From X-Files to X-Men, they're dropping the news, singing praises of geek life with them old blues. Pacelli and Boomer, forever they'll be Geeky Geezers living wild and free.
Nerd!
Yes, absolutely nerds.
That was from an episode of The Simpsons. I didn't do it quite justice, but that was Homer Simpson when he when he has to go back to school because they realize he doesn't have an actual nuclear science degree or something, or an engineering degree. You got to go back to college, and then he's like, "Cool, I get to go to college," and he thinks it's going to be like Animal House and things like that, where he's hanging out with the jocks and yelling at the nerds.
Right. Well, and that particular gag was a pastiche from Revenge of the Nerds, which was another one of those college comedies.
Yes, the one of the bully, the big dude kept saying nerd. Remember
right.
that? Yes. Big Al, hello geezers, have a great stream and wishing you and everyone a great week. Well, thank you, Big Al. That's always good to hear from you.
Well, that's refreshing. At least nobody's calling us jerks.
Chat is open to everyone, as long as you're mostly civil. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We all can have heated opinions, but we're all friends, right?
It's open to everyone who's a subscriber, but you can lose that privilege. There is that potential. Just saying.
All right. Netter of Netters Network, welcome. Actually, you're in the chat. Hello, Netter of Netters Network.
Hi. Good evening. How are you? What are you sipping on?
There you go. I have a water right now because it's not Friday. Anyway, hello. Welcome to Geeky Geezers. I'm your host, Agent Boomer. This is my co-host, Papa Pacelli.
Hello.
And our other co-host, Netter of Netters Network, the Geezette, who just said hi, but you can say hi again if you'd like.
Good evening.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, everyone.
Yes, I don't know. It's a weird evening. We'll see what we get through tonight, but we will charge on. Frankly, that Netflix story you sent me, that could almost have been a Friday thing. But to be fair, I don't know how many of those are worth talking about. It's like
I know
reality TV shows and whatnot. I'm just like,
I know. Well, and this is why sometimes I'll take something that we're talking about for Geeky Geezers and go, I think I'm going to use this for Liquid Lunch because I want to dig into it a little bit more than we're going to have time for on Sunday.
That's fine. Yeah, if you ever want to take an article just to do exclusively on Liquid Lunch, let me know. I'm amenable.
No. When I do that, my assumption is that we're still going to touch on it on Sunday because, sometimes I assume it's a different audience too.
What's happening? Well, that will not be our good old days tonight. That was a show, right?
That was a show that I really, really liked too.
I like the theme song for that show, actually. Yes. No,
Yep.
because the bots are
Oh
watching.
yeah, I got to be careful because
The bots are listening.
Exactly right.
We can't be humans ourselves and just recollect
I
about a
might
theme
sound
song
too much
show.
like an actual piece of music, and they'll hit us with a strike.
Do you remember in what was it? Twilight Zone, the movie, when they started out and they were doing name that show, and they were doing the theme songs each show. Did they have to license those out to have Dan Aykroyd saying that at the beginning of the movie, like if he was doing the Hawaii Five-O theme?
Yes, and
Wow.
and if you watch the closing credits, it acknowledges them. It when it talks about the music that was in it, and a lot of times when you read the credits, you're like, gee, I don't remember that piece of music. It was just something in the background or something that someone was singing or whatever, or humming or whatever. They cover all their bases with that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Tired Midnight Blogger, welcome. It's because you're staying up past midnight. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm kidding. Let me see. JPRPH1, welcome. Rosefire, welcome. We don't usually see you here live, but you always leave comments. Thank you for that, and welcome.
Yep.
I know I've been away for a while. Things have been rough. Still grieving over the loss of close relatives. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry.
Some people in our community. Yeah, we have lost members in our community.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Be nice to each other while you can.
Oh, no. PBS is going away. Who will tell me how to think?
Right, exactly. No, don't worry. We got social media for that now. There's plenty of people on social media that'll tell you what you should be thinking, regardless of whether or not they know what they're talking about.
I remember when Bill O'Reilly got into a dust-up on NPR, and this was back in the day, and I never saw him as, like, I mean, maybe center-right, but I never saw him even as a right-winger, and yet they were still going after him because he wasn't, but...
Oh, yeah.
Zootopia, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Let's see here. Jessica Hardo, welcome. Let's see here. We have an interesting good old days tonight. I don't know if you took a look at it.
I actually didn't. I missed. So I don't even have it in my notes what the good old days is. So it'll be a surprise to me too.
Yeah, if I can scroll up. I hate tiny little bars. I know. Get a mouse. I know. Okay, let's see here.
Do you not use a mouse?
I have this mouse that's built into the Mac, and I did buy
the little tab thing.
I don't like it. It stinks. And I did buy myself a mouse for the Mac, and then someone in my house asked to borrow it. And I've not seen it since, so I need to buy another one. So. But it's okay. What did Netflix do this time? Now we're just talking about their upcoming programming for the year. I don't think they've done anything. We'll see if they've done something. Maybe we'll find something out as we read.
Well, it's more concerned what they're gonna do. We'll talk about that too.
Thank you, Troy Netter. So much for getting on my panel. It meant the world to me. I shouldn't be thanking on your behalf, but
yeah. So those that don't know, last night, was it last night? Yeah, last night after Retro Cinema, I saw that Clue was live, and I was like, oh, let me jump in there and say hi. And then he sends me a link, and suddenly I was on his panel. I'm like, oh, so go check out Clue Studio. He then, after the live stream, took the little segment where I came on and chatted with him, put it up as a separate standalone video. Go check that out. I got on a little bit of a rant. I figured, at least up until recently, he's been more of a political channel than I was. So I felt like I could let loose a little bit and rant a little bit.
I got you. Deleted scenes, welcome. And also just hit 5,300. Congratulations. What was looks like Geek Flag is in the studio as well, so welcome.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Nate.
You want to see what the good old days is?
Yeah, so I guess I got to bring up the presentation, huh?
Okay. Because it ties into one of the stories.
Wait, I might not have put the presentation up yet. This is this is from last week's. Sorry,
okay.
Give me
That's
a
all
moment.
right.
I will get it. I will
That's
get
all right.
it.
I'll talk to Netter while you figure things out. How you doing, Netter?
Yeah,
I'm
right.
doing well. It's funny. I had mentioned on the stream that I was drinking a energy drink. We didn't go to bed till 4 in the morning.
Yeah, we were up till
Yeah.
4 in the morning last night.
And it was
Yeah.
one of those things where, we're both like, we got into this rabbit hole of watching different videos, and I'm playing some games on my computer. And I happen to look at the clock, and I'm like, did you know it's 4 in the morning? He goes, no, let's go to bed.
Yes. I went to a Cracker Barrel for breakfast today. I got the pecan pancake breakfast
That
combo.
sounds
Ooh, that
good.
sounds yummy.
Yeah, pecan pancakes with sunny side up eggs and 2 sausage patties. As
Nice.
Gordon from Twin Peaks would say, I prefer the patties. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
They were all right. Probably should have gone with the bacon, but oh well. But I enjoyed it. I like pecan pancakes. They're very good. I used to go
Speaking of
to.
the,
Hmm?
go ahead.
Go
No,
ahead.
yeah, go on.
No, I used to go to Waffle House and we get the pecan waffle there. So I decided let me try pecan pancakes at Cracker Barrel, see if they hold up.
I
Yeah.
have
Mhm.
this may not sound very healthy, but I have recently been getting because Netter likes it the breakfast sausage,
Yes.
and making the links, and
Bob Evans.
I realized that what you can do is you usually do them like about ½ inch, but they of course shrink down. Um, if you put two, so like twice as much, and really kind of squeeze them down and then fry them up, they're almost as big around as a bagel, so that you can have like a whole piece of sausage on a bagel with cheese and maybe some eggs.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you take the skin off, right, and then you just flat them down, right?
Oh yeah, no, I don't even get the
Oh,
ones with
okay.
the skin. It comes in the plastic tubing.
Oh, I
This
see.
is the Bob
Okay.
Evans sausage.
Like the Bob Evans type of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I didn't go to Bob Evans today. I went to Bob Evans last week. I got
I mean Bob Evans brand. It was a brand before they started restaurants.
I
right?
didn't know that. I just saw that there
Did
was
you
the
not?
farm. No,
Seriously?
I go in there and I see the big picture of the farm. And anyway,
And you do well until some woke DEI company buys them out and then decides to simplify everything and cheapen everything, and that's
y'all,
going to happen. You just watch eventually.
y'all are making me want to cook a big breakfast for dinner tonight. There's, you could be having a bad day, but if you have pancakes, the day becomes better. That's what I say. Okay.
Okay, we're up
Or
and running. I'm
waffles.
sorry it took so long.
It's
I
fine,
forgot
man.
that one little element.
I was going to talk about how I finally got Dawn of the Dead on Blu-ray because I found it on eBay. And because
Oh.
apparently, yeah, go ahead.
I always need you to remind me, is that the Romero ones or the funny ones with the eating the brains?
No, you're thinking of Return of the Living Dead. So Dawn of the Dead is the Romero one from the '70s in the shopping mall, and that thing's
Gotcha.
been out
Okay.
of print. You know what? I'm letting it loose now. If y'all have been interested in picking this up on Blu-ray, it's more affordable on eBay than it's been because a bunch of Goodwills are selling them now. I don't know how they're doing this. Now, granted, $30, that's not a cheap Blu-ray, but it's not as horribly expensive as it's been for a while because apparently Richard P. Rubenstein owns the rights, and rumor has it, rumor from another channel, speculation. I'm not saying this is true, that he charges a lot of money to license that movie onto physical media, and that's why it's been gone for so long. It's just a rumor. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm sure there's another reason.
If that is true, there is an interesting irony to that because of the fact that the original Night of the Living Dead, from which that is a sequel, had fallen into public domain for a long period of time, resulting in Romero not being able to
make money off of it
for a very long time, as it became a huge cult classic, which is why he went and he made the remake. And of all the remakes of all movies ever made, that's the one I support the most because it was the filmmaker just trying to
get some
recoup
money
his losses. Yeah,
What happened, Captains? Found the Excalibur on Blu-ray for $8 yesterday. Got DVD, but Blu-ray is better. I found recently a combo pack of Snake Eyes and Face Off, both with Nicolas Cage, for $5 on a certain site. So that's not bad. Face Off, where him and Travolta switch faces.
And did we say hi to Wallace Lang too? I don't want to miss nobody.
I don't know if we did.
I did.
I don't have to worry about the loss of PBS NPR because I haven't. As time goes by, Doctor Who, Faulty Towers, Keeping Up Appearances, Monty Python, Yes Minister, Yes Prime Minister on DVDs. Why? Because always own physical media. Then they can never take it away from you.
Let's be on.
Never.
Would you believe I've never seen Face Off?
You've never seen Face Off? You should plan that for a Monday sometime. Maybe you could do like a Nicolas Cage voting. Face Off it was one of the big summer blockbusters of the year it came out. It was what we call a 90s blockbuster.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So your mileage may vary on that, but it's Travolta and Nicolas Cage. They're facing off.
I heard they did a good job of like being each other.
They have to be each other in the movie, yes.
Yeah.
Because they switch faces. Okay,
right, exactly.
That's complicated enough how that was done. Anyway, this is our good old days tonight.
Oh, The Thing. Yeah, the first of Carpenter's 3 apocalypse movies.
Yeah, I have one of the others. I still have to get Mouths of Madness. That's Carpenter.
At the Mouth of Madness.
At the Mouth of Madness, and the second one is Prince of Darkness, which I do have also. Yes.
Have you seen all 3 of them?
I have. It's been a while since I've watched In the Mouth of Madness. I saw that back in high school, so I need to probably give that another whirl.
That one is, of all the 3, it's the one that deserves the most rewatches for details.
Interesting.
There's a lot in there. There's a lot of background stuff. There's a lot, yeah.
Well, you've dissected Prince of Darkness a lot, I've noticed. So
I have. I really love that movie. That one, now I had seen The Thing before I saw At the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
I was aware of Lovecraft, but not real into it. But Prince of Darkness really launched me into that love of the Lovecraftian cosmic horror, kind of thing. It was my kind of gateway for that sort of stuff, which made me want to revisit The Thing.
That has one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in a movie in Prince of Darkness, when Alice Cooper comes out and he says, is it him or if it may have been somebody else? And he says, I have a message for you, and you're not going to like it. Pray for death. I mean,
and then he just turns into bugs.
He does turn. That's right. That's why I got confused, because he turns into like a mass of bugs. But now we're talking about The Thing, an alien menace. You see in the beginning of the movie, you see a flying saucer going over Earth, and
that's right.
This is one I did not catch during the 80s. This totally went. I didn't catch it on cable. I don't know how I missed it. When in the early days of DVD, when companies were releasing DVDs with special features and whatnot, Universal put this out as having audio commentary and a little making of featurette, which was rather cool. And of course, I was all about getting these things for the special features, so I picked The Thing. I'd never seen it before, and it became one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I think it's definitely my favorite. I do like Big Trouble in Little China, but this is up there with one of my favorite Carpenters. Actually, for the original Thing, starring James Arness and Thing for Another, I need to watch that. I always got When the Doggos Get Mutated thing breaks my heart so much. Well, I think the reason it does that too, if you look at this movie, the dogs are also characters like the humans in this movie.
Yes,
they very much are. In fact, I give the dogs credit for the fact that the dogs knew something was up as soon as the Thing entered the room as disguised as the dog. They're like, something's wrong.
Yeah,
they're like,
that's first off, that's a narrative thing, because it gives you that, intuition that dogs have that humans don't. Also, this is the payoff, right? When you care about the dogs, just like characters, right?
Yes.
That there's more stakes there. So the unfortunate side effect is, yeah, it really sucks when something bad happens to the dogs. But, that's good storytelling, though. Remember, there were no dogs actually harmed in the filming of the movie.
No,
So,
and I think this movie's actually very pro dog. In fact, I think the one guy gets very
very
angry.
clear.
One of the characters,
Very
as
clear.
you could argue, he liked the dogs better than the people on the set. He was
Yeah.
very angry when the
Yeah.
one guy
Yeah.
put them all down. He said, "What?" Of course, we learn out that there may have been nefarious reasons behind that. Of course, I think the reason was given for spread of the whatever it was, but I don't think that's
Right.
why he did it. In the beginning of the movie, though, we do see one of those dogs running about, and a bunch of Norwegian guys in a helicopter shooting at it, and everyone's wondering why, and they don't get to find out because they start shooting at the Americans because the Americans are in there's a confusion thing, and then the Norwegians get killed, so they don't know what happened, so they go over to the Norwegian base and they find a bunch of stuff there.
Oh yeah.
They think it's cabin fever. Maybe they went nuts because they're in the Arctic, right? And
yeah, exactly.
They're not sure what happened here, but they know that the Norwegians discovered what looked like a submerged spaceship. Am I right? That was
right.
They took it out of the ice, but then they're all mysteriously dead.
Yeah.
And of course,
So
as we
what
learn,
happens when you try buy ghost wood,
Well, there's that too. But you got to remember too that, it wasn't until years later as you mature, you start analyzing these things a little bit more. You realize there's elements of this that you see in Alien. It's still the same kind of a thing where you have a bunch of researchers looking to study something and not realizing how dangerous it is. And in this case, it happens to be an alien that can take the form of anything it kills, anything it experiences.
Alaskan Huskies. That's what the dogs were. Okay,
right.
And Rosefire's not seen this movie, so we will try not to spoil it too much here. Okay, during this chat, but
even if we did, though. Even if we told you the ending of the movie, you'd still want to watch it over and over and over again, and you still go back and forth on what actually happens at the end of this movie.
So here we got Kurt Russell is, of course, MacReady, our main protagonist. There are a lot of good actors in this, actually. Keith David is in this. The Quaker Oats man is in this.
Yeah.
It's a lot of various character actors are in this movie. Yes. But this is the scene where it's like, what's that noise? What's going on? I don't know what's in there. I don't know, but it's weird and pissed off. Whatever it is, remember that it's real creepy. And the reason I bring this up now, unfortunately, we do have a death of one of the cast to talk about in a little bit, but also because I think this is a great winter horror movie because it takes place in the Arctic. It has a very winter feel to it.
Right.
David did.
You got to remember.
Yeah.
The thing you got to remember about the Arctic is, the Antarctic. Remember, Antarctica is a continent. It's about the size of Australia. It's huge. There is land underneath all of that ice, but it is at the South Pole, and so it is literally frozen all the time. And even in its, in quote, summer, you just get a little bit of thaw of some of the ice around the shores, but it is freezing all the time. There is no, I take that. I was going to say there are no land animals indigenous to it, but that's not true. There are. They have to be amphibious. So for example, there are penguins that live in Antarctica that live off the fish. But
there you go.
By and large, there isn't a lot of life there. There's definitely no plant life, and you go for 6 months of day or 6 months of night. You don't have the sun go down for half the year.
And this is that's always
don't even start that flat Earth bullshit. Okay. I know what you're getting, you goofball. Yeah.
Anyway, so this is an all male cast, all men. They considered putting a woman in like the original, but they thought it would be interesting, the dynamics of just men bouncing off each other. This is a weird group. I guess these are scientists or they're doing something with this post. I don't know if they're studying things weather or something down there, and you have different people like McCready. He's the helicopter pilot. If you have to get out of there, he flies your way.
Yeah.
There are scientists there. There's a cook. There's different people there to maintain this facility. And yeah, oh yeah, it's a very good film.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch. I need to watch the original at some point. Which Carpenter, of course, loved the original, because back then people would, when they said I'm a big fan of this movie, they meant it. And this is more like a companion picture,
This
But yes,
Charlotte indirectly brings up something that I feel elevates this original film so much. She says, I enjoyed the prequel film of The Thing from 2011. Not the same, though,
Nope.
with the CG for The Thing, though, but still good story telling and casting. What was great about the original Thing was that, and when I say original Thing, I'm talking about this one. I know it's a remake of The Thing from Another World, but they're almost two completely different movies.
Yeah.
So when I say the original Thing, I mean this one. But the 2011 movie, I think most people have heard this. All of those special effects were originally done with practical effects.
Yeah.
And then they decided to go in and do CG over them.
Yeah. This happened with
So they
that.
literally
Yeah.
ruined it.
They did that also with the Fright Night remake, the one with David Tennant in it.
Oh, for F's sake.
That one also had practical effects in it, which they also CGI'd over. And I'm kind of curious because that movie might have been upgraded in my mind had they not gone with the CG. I might have, because they even said they were going to try to do practical, and I was like, well, I don't see practical when I watched it.
Look, here's my point has always been, if you look at Jurassic Park, that's a great example of the right tool for the right job. It's okay to use CG. It's okay to use practical, but know when to use both and use them right. And sometimes using them in conjunction is the best way. You do the practical and maybe just touch up the edges a little bit with some CG,
I want to say that this movie, I believe Stan Winston, correct? He did the effects for this. A young Stan Winston. I think this was his
Very
first
young,
big gig. This, in my opinion, I thought this at the time of watching, and I think I still do. I think this has maybe the best special effects I've ever seen in a movie. To this day, I don't know how he pulled this stuff off.
Well, it's amazing. It's almost like watching a magician.
Yeah.
Doing an illusion. That there's that scene where I don't remember who the actor is, who's the doctor, who's trying to revive someone with the what do you call it? What are those? Defibrillator.
He's
got defibrillators he's going to put into the guy's chest, and as he goes to put them on his chest, the chest bursts open with the ribs kind of being like teeth.
Yes.
And clamp down on his arms and bite his arms off.
Freaked out, yes.
The whole thing was a practical shot with the actor having a, in quotes, stunt double who was a double amputee. He didn't have any arms. The arms were fake. So what's getting bitten away are these artificial arms, and you're looking going, how the hell did they get that shot? That's how. The guy didn't really have arms. It's a brilliant trick, and if you can pay attention, you can say, oh, that guy's got a different build, he's wearing a wig, you only see him, you don't see his face and stuff like that. But it's like, when you're watching it, that ain't what your eyes are focused on.
Oh, I even introduced the thing to friends of mine, and they loved it. They were so excited. That's one of the things about watching your favorite movie with a friend. It's almost like experiencing it again for the first time.
Yes, that was Stan Winston, without a doubt. Absolutely.
Yeah, no,
and that's what I'm talking about. Some of the effects in this were never done before. He was literally making them up on the set. That's the scene I was just talking about, wasn't it? Well, that's the outcome of it.
This is him examining. I think this is the doctor examining what was left of that dog thing that they fried. Because apparently you can torch this thing. You can use a flamethrower on it. So there you go. If you want to use a flamethrower, you're good to go. This thing is not easy to kill. Okay,
right?
It's not, but it doesn't like fire. That's another one of the. I think that might be when it's disguised as one of the people, because of course it can hide inside an imitation. You
Yep.
The thing about this movie is there's a psychological aspect, because you're seeing all these guys and you're thinking, which one of these guys is the thing, and it so
Right.
perfectly imitates the person. Do you understand that you don't
Yep.
know even in the audience who's the thing, right? It's like this.
Yep.
It's freaking me out here. There's our main group here. I think the cook there. I don't know. I think he's on the far right. There's a funny line in it when the Norwegians are shooting, and he says, "Maybe we're at war with Norway." You know?
Yeah, exactly.
The United States, and then there was some guy when they just got
Which
the
is
station.
which is funny because we might be going to war with Denmark soon.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. What was it? Like when they find out about the UFO, and the one guy says, "Oh, Washington knows about this. They've been dropping out of the skies all the time. They taught the Mayans everything they knew."
Yeah.
Just there's some good humor in this movie, despite the fact that there's all this horrific stuff going on
Yeah.
at times. Let's see. There's McCready, great. Kurt Russell, great
Yep.
performance here. Uh,
How cold do you think it is out there? I don't know. 1.
I
know it's not this movie, but still.
There's a creepy scene in this where McCready says, "I have to go check on my cabin," and he says, "The light's on," and he says, "What difference does that make? I didn't turn my light on when I left it, so like someone's been to my cabin." Do you understand? So he was,
Yeah.
and you're wondering, well, wait a minute, what's McCready going into, and what's going on? And then it fades to black, and like it's like 2 hours later, like what's going on? It's like,
So again, with the practical effects, I wanted to speak to this too. Big Al talks about the spider legs growing out of the head, freaking him out.
Let's find it.
This. Oh, you have it. There you go. There you go. Well,
didn't want to show whose head it was, so we'll leave it alone.
This
Yeah,
was another. This was another practical effect that they did incredibly well. The legs growing out of it. What you're seeing here is where it started, and they pulled the legs into the back of the head through the floor, and then they showed it backwards. And you notice it because there's some smoke there, and it moves in a way that it's kind of backwards. But they did that so it looks like it's growing, and they reproduce that same effect on the skeleton growing in Hellraiser.
Oh, interesting. So kind of a similar premise.
Yep.
What I thought was interesting, I think one of the guys says, "You got to be effing kidding me," when he sees the head crawling away, because that's the thing. You can get rid of the body, but if it jumps, if the head separates and then it goes, it's
Yep.
this
Because
is how it
the individual
transforms.
pieces, the individual pieces actually are still the creature. It's like an invertebrate where you chop it in half and you end up with 2 of them. Troy, I always believed the reason that the ship crashed on Earth was because the alien pilot knew he got infected and tried to end it. That is strongly implied.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It is strongly implied that that this was what was happening, that he wasn't trying to infect the planet. He was trying to destroy himself and the creature because there was no other way.
I didn't even think about that. Whoever was piloting the craft might not have been the it thing. It might have been an intelligent alien that got infected by whatever this
Which
thing
is again why I draw the comparison to aliens.
Yes.
Being the pilot race was not the alien. It was the host, the previous host before the humans got infected.
Going back though, and of course we have this. Freaks me out. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here? Okay. Well, you have a good night, Rosefire, and definitely check out The Thing.
Yeah. Take care.
Good, she's gone. Couldn't believe it was McCready all along. I'm joking, of course. It's not McCready. In fact, the film makes
you don't know. Honestly,
no.
There is no way to spoil this because you honestly don't know at the end of this movie.
Carpenter said it wasn't that. He was trying to lay it out so you wouldn't suspect McCready. Now, maybe you're right. Maybe you don't know, but if in his mind he was trying to set up you didn't suspect him.
I think because I have watched a number of videos where people try to map out step by step where the creature was, who it had gotten, who the victim was at any given time, and so forth. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even sure that the filmmakers put that much thought into it. I think it was just we know what we know where it starts, we know where it ends. All the details in the middle kind of really don't matter.
I need to I need to play that game I got. They remastered the Thing game for the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I heard
They
some good things
remastered
about it.
and I need to check it out because it almost treats itself like a follow up. Like you're the team that goes to investigate what happened to this Antarctic base, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
I see. I got so many games now. I got this puzzle of flesh that I gotta get through. Thank you again, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
For his birthday, I got him Phantasmagoria and Phantasmagoria 2 on Steam. You never played Phantasmagoria, did you? The original?
Not the first one. I had the second one.
Yeah,
I never got through it, but I did have it. Yes.
The second one was done by an apprentice of Roberta Williams, which
it kind of makes sense. It had that kind of feel to it. Yeah.
She liked it, but the reason she didn't make the second one is because apparently the original Phantasmagoria was so taxing on her that she needed a break after it.
I would imagine
it was an immense undertaking when they made that game. It's one of these games I really want to play someday, but I got.
It was at that time period where they were just starting to do. I mean, it was the computer graphics version of rotoscoping. They actually had actors come in and film scenes as if they were making a movie, and then they would digitize it into the game.
Yes. Oh, Enigma, you didn't like Alien Covenant? Don't get me started on Alien Covenant. I like Fassbender in that, but I'm getting off track. Sorry. All right. But I guess that wraps it up for The Thing. Do check it out if you've not seen it. Good horror movie for the winter time, right?
I suppose, yeah. It's a Christmas movie, right?
It's not a Christmas movie. There are enough horror Christmas movies. You don't have to lump this one since there's no mention. And to be fair, who knows? This could be taking place in the middle of summer for all we know. It's just in the middle of July, but it's in the end. It's in the Arctic, so what does it matter, right? But
actually, the fact that it's dark the whole time tells you what season it is, but I don't remember what season that makes it, to be honest.
I don't know. There is some light in some scenes, but yeah, you're right. It's not good.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we do have an In Remembrance this evening, it is one of the actors from The Thing,
and many other things. Actually.
Oh yeah.
No,
veteran actor T.K. Carter, who appeared in the horror film The Thing and Punky Brewster on television, has died at the age of 69. This could have been a Punky Brewster retrospective, but I didn't know if you were as familiar with that show. So it's
yeah. I mean, I probably could have talked about it.
Moon Fry. I don't know. I think it was one of those shows as a kid I wanted to watch, but I never could find out when it was on or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Carter was declared dead Friday evening after deputies responded to a call regarding an unresponsive male in Duarte, California, according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Police did not disclose a cause of death or other details, but said no foul play was suspected. Carter had been acting for years before a breakthrough role as Knowles the Cook in John Carpenter's 1982 horror classic The Thing. He also had a recurring role in the 1980 sitcom Punky Brewster. Other big screen roles include Runaway Train in 1985, Ski Patrol in 1990, and Space Jam in 1996. So rest in peace. Yeah, so not much else to say about that, but do check out The Thing. He's very funny. He's the cook that made the comment about maybe we're at war with Norway.
Yeah, exactly.
He also gets angry because someone leaves their dirty drawers in his kitchen or something, right? And that was probably when they started. I
can't even imagine what life has got to be like for people. There was, I don't know, you can look it up on YouTube. People have done videos about this. There was a guy who died in Antarctica, and they're not sure if it was a murder or a did it to himself kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it's a very, very weird case. I mean, just that kind of stir crazy gets you. Yeah, I understand that. But
well, anyway. Yeah. It's you don't like being confined, right?
Right. exactly.
All
And
right.
the lack of stimuli, and your circadian rhythms are all
Well,
completely
and the
off.
thing they had some guy was smoking a doobie, so you had some you had some
Well, that can help. That can help. Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah.
and they were watching tapes like VHS tapes of game shows. I noticed when they were doing that in one scene. You know,
Uh,
I'd already seen this one. They took it out and put another one. Because what else are you gonna do, right? I mean,
right.
okay, and Stanley Kubrick has passed away. I'm shocked he made the. Oh wait, never mind. Sidney Kubrick, 97.
I was gonna
Sorry.
say Stanley Kubrick's been dead for years.
I was about to say, was Stanley Kubrick also in The Little Rascals? So, yeah, Sidney Kubrick, who portrayed the bad boy known as Wallman R. Gang comedy film shorts in 1930s, has died. He was 97 years old. Well, that's a good long life. Kubrick died Saturday at a hospital in Northridge. His daughter, Jane, lip sick, told the Hollywood Reporter. Kubrick appeared in about 2 dozen R. Gang Little Rascals films
Yeah.
made at Hal Roach Studios from 1935 to 1939 as Woim.
Woim, yeah.
That
You know,
that's
like Brooklyn Worm, yeah.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, Brooklynese for Worm, which was
Yeah.
he was the hench kid for the neighborhood bully Butch, Tommy
Right.
Bond.
Right. Which honestly, I swear that character, those two characters, I should say, became like archetypes. Which you very much see in like movies like
A Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Or sometimes cartoons where you got the big bulldog and the little yip yip dog. You know, it's
Yeah.
that kind of an archetype. You know.
It was a grind making those shorts, he told Nick Thomas in a 2023 interview. We have 2 hours of schooling in the morning and then work anywhere for 6 to 16 hours until we finished, he said. There was a lot of work, no question about it, but our director, Gordon Douglas, was a terrific guy, and he was really able to get a lot out of each kid. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, rest in peace.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch those Little Rascal shorts. I'm not as familiar with
They
those.
are
as, like,
wonderful. Yeah, they really are wonderful.
big fan of the Three Stooges, though. Used to watch those a lot. But rest in peace.
Yep.
I guess we could have done a Little Rascals retrospective, but I'm just
could have. Yeah, there's only so much time in the stream. We can only do so much.
Is he the last of the R Gang actors? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I would suspect he is, but I don't know because 96. Yikes, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, and now we move on into gaming. Phantasmagoria. You know, someday you should try to do a Let's Play live of Phantasmagoria.
Yeah, no, probably not going to be doing that because I don't
go
think
on Twitch
YouTube
when you move over to Twitch, right?
Well,
I'm joking.
Well, I don't know what the rules are over there on Twitch. I just know that on YouTube they'd be like, "Yeah, no, that does not meet our community guidelines."
Apparently, there are no. Oh, I forgot. Those games are a little risque, aren't they? In fact, I think one of them got banned in some country. I think, right?
Well,
games.
What I remember was some pretty heavy duty. I mean, the kind of violence we were just talking about in the thing. You know, I mean. So.
Which surprises me that Roberta Williams, but she okayed all this. So I guess she was. Oh, we're going full on horror with these.
I honestly think though that what she was doing was she was trying to push the envelope of what could be done with video games. You know, which, you know, you wouldn't have a lot of the stuff we have today if it weren't for those kinds of pioneers.
Oh yeah,
you know.
I love Spoonie's playthrough of the second. I'll have to look for that. Thank you. Moving on to gaming, though. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evilus Chronicles. We used to always pronounce it Ivilus, but I think it's Evilus. And I thought this was an interesting little story. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evilus Chronicles, has beat sales expectations of the original's director and sold over 1 million copies before the end of 2025. And the remake director said its positive reception could lead to future updates. If you ask me, aside from Donkey Kong Bonanza, no game enamored me quite as much as the 2025 as Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evilus Chronicles. Sure, it's technically a game from 1997, but the improvements and enhancements made to it, namely an incredible cast of voice actors bringing the characters to life. They all sound very British.
Yeah.
if you played in English, as well as a fully remade version of the classic PlayStation 1 game, once thought lost, made for what is undeniably one of the best remakes of 2025, and I'd argue one of the best games of 2025. I got this for Christmas, by the way.
Nice.
Clearly enough, people agreed, as Square Enix has announced that Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilest Chronicles sold over 1 million copies as of the end of 2025. In a press release translated by Games Radar Plus, game director Katsutoyo Mihiro says, "I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Truly, thank you so much." Now, I want you to listen to this, Square Enix. You
Yeah.
basically re-released this old game and you left it alone. You even got the original director back who made it back in the 90s to supervise this remake, and it was well received by fans and it sold money. See, when you give people what they want, they will buy it.
Right.
You mess with things, then they don't buy it. So please keep this in mind for the future. But I think I had to say this though. I also had another thought as to why even younger people, a lot of people buy retro games now that are remastered. You don't have to worry about DLC.
That's a very good point too.
Even if they give it, even if there are updates where they add stuff, it's free. They don't charge you when it's a retro game, which I thought, which just dawned on me.
That's true. Yeah.
But
And most of the time, you also don't have to worry about bugs. Bugs have already been fixed.
yeah, that's important, but not always. But yeah, sometimes new bugs appear.
Well, I was going to say, usually, even if the bugs haven't been fixed, some fan has found some sort of a workaround or custom DLC. Usually, it doesn't cost anything. You just go to somebody's site and download it.
Enigma Severus says, "I have a friend that wanted to share every detail of this game with me. I began to cry after a while." It's fantasy, but there's a lot of political intrigue in this. I guess it's kind of like Game of Thrones, where there's warring kingdoms and whatnot. But I have to actually play it through. But like, there's like the aristocracy versus, you know what? I'm not going to try to.
Yeah.
It's very political, kind of like, and I guess there's deaths of, Anyway. You know what? I'm not going to try to act like I know exactly what this is about because unfortunately I did not own a PlayStation. During the time of this release, I had a Nintendo 64. And we didn't
kind of the problem with the consoles. If you had a PC, you wouldn't have
had a PC. You wouldn't have gotten this game. Actually, you can probably get it on PC now. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
I think this got released on PC, but now I got it on my Switch, so I can finally enjoy it and find out what the hullabaloo was about. But yeah, it's good on Square Enix. See, I pick on Square Enix, but when they do right, I will give them praise.
Right.
I was even thinking this week, we're always so negative. I got to find a positive article. This seemed like a positive article.
That's fair.
Oh, you look at this. It was really good intrigue, but I am a Nintendo 64 and Bond guy. Need for Speed, Most Wanted, Xbox. Yes, well, I was a Nintendo 64 guy. We did get Ogre Battle 64 on the Nintendo 64, which had kind of that political intrigue in it, which was another tactical role-playing game. I liked that because basically the plot of that game was there's a really corrupt aristocracy in that game, and I think you play a soldier in this aristocracy, like working for them, and I think you basically you get this, you rescue this prince who was kidnapped by the peasants that were revolting, right? And you bring the prince back, and then the aristocracy says, well, we have to show that we capture someone. So they end up capturing some random guy off the street, and they execute him and saying he was the mastermind, even though you, as the soldier, know this guy had nothing to do with anything. You just did this for show, and that's when you start realizing this is a bad group you're supporting. And I think later in the game, the aristocracy decides to start summoning ogres from the underworld to help them keep things down, which I think ends up biting them later on. But
I would imagine it would.
I don't know. It was an interesting little game. They should remaster that next. In fact, I could be wrong, but I think Square now owns Ogre Battle as well, so they could remaster Ogre Battle 64 next. Now on to movies. I did see this movie, The Housemaid. Sydney Sweeney.
Did you? I haven't. Yeah, it's a remake, isn't it?
It is not, but it's very much in the vein of those thrillers we used to get, like in the 90s, like Fatal Attraction, things like that. But it's not exactly, because it's about this housemaid that's hired by this rich couple with a daughter, and the wife's a little unhinged. She seems real nice at first, and then you realize she's very unhinged and stuff. And Amanda Seyfried is the guy's wife, and Sydney Sweeney is the housemaid that's hired. And
Gotcha.
apparently, this is a very successful book trilogy that came out recently. They're always being checked out from the library, so I figured I'd check this out. But apparently, this has done very well for Sydney Sweeney. I didn't, because I wanted to go out to kind of support, because I feel like she's been bashed a lot this year for no good reason. So I figured, let me go see a movie with her in it, and it did very well. And listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the surprise success of Sydney Sweeney's thriller, The Housemaid, there's one scene in The Housemaid in which Sydney Sweeney and Brandon Skliner watch an old episode of Family Feud, with Richard Dawson.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And with host Richard Dawson. And they were filming the tension-filled sequence in early 2025. A light bulb suddenly turned on in Sweeney's head. Sid goes, "We've got to go on Family Feud." And I was like, that's a hilarious idea. The film's director, Paul Feig, recounts. And I called Lionsgate and said, Sid wants to do Family Feud. And they're like, we'll make it happen. Lionsgate publicity team did just that. Feig and the film stars, including Amanda Seyfried, competed on the December 4th episode of ABC's Celebrity Family Feud. The episode went viral, driving 1.5 million video views within the linear window, according to Talkwater Social Content Ratings, which tracks interactions for broadcast and cable entertainment series in prime time. And it set the stage for the thriller, a throwback to modestly budgeted breakouts of the 90s like The Hand That Rocks the Cradle and Basic Instinct, to become a global phenomenon with female audiences when it opened up December 19th. I think Sydney Sweeney is a lot smarter than maybe she lets on.
Yeah, well, I just in what she's doing in her business life,
yes,
and how she's positioning herself to, she's doing what a few, not many, but a few people in Hollywood. Ryan Reynolds comes to mind too, although he's kind of blowing up his business right now. But he was diversifying and making a lot of really intelligent investments that didn't necessarily have anything to do specifically with his career.
Heading into its fourth weekend in theaters, The Housemaid isn't slowing domestically. It's only second to Avatar, Fire and Ash. But keep in mind, this movie probably costs a lot less than Fire and Ash to make. So,
True.
Housemaid already earned. It had a budget of $35 million. Housemaid already earned more than $140 million. I knew this would be a big hit though, because the books are big. So I think she did well.
That's the two-part whammy. That can really make something a success. If you're basing it on a book, first, if the book series is well-known, well-liked, has a great following, that's huge. But then you got to follow up with, you better be honoring that source material. Otherwise, you're going to piss off the fans, and it's not going to do well.
Yeah.
Yep.
I went in The Housemaid without knowing anything. I really enjoyed it, and I think a bachelorette party came when I went. It was packed out with a bunch of single ladies. All the single ladies. You went to the wrong show, it seems. But actually, to be fair, anyway. But no, I'm glad it did well, and I'm glad that she's having a good year, especially after that whole thing with, we didn't even touch on that thing with Ruby Rose and everything else with the boxing movie she was in. So
right,
and of course the American Eagle controversy, which they kept poking at her on. And let's see here. And Lionsgate green lights the Housemaid sequel for 2026 production. Start Sydney Sweeney eyeing to return. Yes, she's going to star in it. She's probably going to get a pay hike too. Amid box office success for The Housemaid, it's Frida McFadden thriller starring Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried, and Brandon Skliner. Lionsgate is moving toward a 2026 production start for a sequel, The Housemaid's Secret, based on the second novel, McFadden's best-selling trilogy. The project has been in development for the past few months, with Sweeney eyeing to return and star and executive produce. See, she's producing. And co-star Michelle Maroney also looking to reprise. It's expected that Paul Feig will return to direct. Well, hopefully that won't stop it from being decent. Okay.
Well, no, see, a lot
this
of people
might be his bag, not Ghostbusters. That's the thing.
That's exactly it. He was the wrong person for that Ghostbusters movie. I'm not blaming him. He was very clearly trying to do something that I guess you would call it like a parody of it, but it wasn't billed that way. It
No.
was billed as a remake, which, again, understand your audience and understand the viewing public. Nobody wants remakes of things anymore that they loved.
Yeah.
Don't do it. That is a recipe for disaster. And he did not respond the way he should because he didn't understand what was happening and why he was getting the response he was. And then the women in the movie certainly didn't help him in any regard.
Disastrous.
So
A deep dive on that Ghostbusters movie, but I actually have to watch it first, because I've avoided it. Have you seen it?
I have, now that I think about it. It was not good.
It's based on a book series, so a possible franchise. Well, definitely a movie trilogy. And Frida McFadden's done a lot of other books too. She does a lot of thrillers, so it's maybe we'll see a return to the Hollywood thriller. Granted, there've been a lot of bad Hollywood thrillers, but I kind of miss them, so I welcome them back. So Sydney did really well. Amanda Seyfried was pretty good with her character as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was. I like to actually see movies around the holidays, and the trouble is, Disney comes in with one of the big blockbusters, and suddenly all the other studios shrink and run away, and they don't want to put it on theaters. And
well, I think that's starting to change, though.
Yes,
I do think that other studios now are starting to go, yeah, I don't think Disney has the chops we think. And you're starting to see, we talked about it early on when some of the other studios were just going blatantly up against them with complete apathy.
Yes.
And I think that their stranglehold is very much shifted.
What are they going to do next year? I think it's going to be this year. I think this year's holiday movie in December will be Avengers Doomsday, correct? If I'm not mistaken, that's not a summer release, right? That's a fall release. That's a
and that's another one that the release date on that, other studios are eyeing and going, yeah, we don't think it's going to be as big a problem for us as Disney thinks it is.
Why are they doing that one in holidays? It would have made more sense to release that one in the summer and then to release the Mandalorian movie at Christmas time. I'm not even saying either are going to be good, but I think those might balance better with
I don't think either is going to do well, so I don't really think that when they release it is going to matter.
I think it makes a difference, though, because I think Solo would have done a lot better had they released it during the holidays at the year of release. I think they released it in the summer, and summer everyone's throwing their blockbusters out, so who cares? But I think people get scared of Star Wars. I don't know why. I think other studios, they still think it's something they don't want to.
I think anyone paying attention is no longer afraid of Star Wars.
Maybe. All right. Moving on to movie theaters go public with effort to stop Warner Brothers sale.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting.
I got a lot to say about this. I might go on a little bit of a rant here. Movie theaters go public with movie theater chains are bringing their opposition to any sale of Warner Brothers to Capitol Hill. We are deeply concerned that this acquisition of Warner Brothers by Netflix will have a direct and irreversible negative impact on movie theaters around the world. Cinema United, the largest trade organization representing exhibitors, said in written remarks sent on Wednesday to the House Judiciary Subcommittee on the Administrative State Regulatory Reform and Antitrust, as it is set to hold a hearing on the potential acquisition of Warner Brothers. Such an acquisition will further consolidate control over production and distribution of motion pictures in the hands of a single dominant global streaming platform in a market that is already highly concentrated, added the group led by CEO Michael Learley. Okay, so far I'm like, okay, they're afraid of Netflix. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, I think that the theaters, theater chains, heads of them, what have they been doing the last 5 years? I felt like they needed to be really proactive on this, and I don't think they were. I think we've been seeing the writing of the wall. I don't know why they haven't been doing more. That's my opinion.
I mean, I agree with you, but ultimately, it's at the point where they got to do something. They better start moving. So
yeah, but when that day and date stuff happened with Jason Killar, that's when they should have. that was their warning, and that was back when we first started doing these streams back in 2020. So I don't know what they've been doing since then. As Paramount and Netflix continue a heated battle for Warner Brothers Discovery's largely over the price tag and deal terms, the movie theater owners told Congress that Netflix's business model does not include theatrical exposition, and Paramount acquiring Warner Brothers would dramatically increase market consolidation after earlier rounds of mergers and acquisitions. If Paramount or another major studio ends up displacing Netflix as the buyer, our concerns are no less serious. A combination of Paramount and Warner Brothers, for instance, would consolidate as much as 40% of each year's domestic box office in the hands of a single dominant group, the trade organization wrote to Washington, D.C. politicians. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Not compared to Netflix. Paramount still believes in a theatrical model, so this is not as bad as Netflix. I understand their concerns, but another big problem why this is happening is Warner Brothers is heavily in debt and they have to sell. I don't. I originally thought when Zaslav came aboard he was meaning to reform the studio, but no. I think the problems with Warner Brothers were already there when he showed up, and I don't.
It's incredibly insidious when you really look at it in hindsight,
Oh yeah,
because you realize that Zaslav knew what he was getting into, wasn't coming in to try and fix anything. He was coming in
yeah.
to
To fatten the
liquidate
calf.
and make money for himself.
Yeah, fatten the calf for the slaughter because it can't produce kids. I don't
Yep.
know kids anymore. That's basically what it looked like.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. And granted, this is just my speculation, but I I don't think they were. I think Warner Brothers has been in trouble for a while, and I think it's sad because they were one of my favorite studios, and it's sad. But I don't like them trying to equate Paramount because at least Paramount is a studio.
Right.
And yeah, they're going to get a lot of properties, but maybe other studios can then rise up. New studios can rise up, and they can compete, and vice versa, and all that can happen. Netflix gets this as directly it impacts your business, whereas if Paramount gets this, I mean, I don't quite understand what his concerns are with Paramount, that they're going to bully them or something.
Well, the whole situation here is that the studios look, somebody has to speak up and say, look, we have antitrust laws for a reason. We need to enact them, and these are the grounds that you sue under. There's this whole concept of standing, right? I can't sue because I can't sue somebody who wrongs you because they wronged you. You would have to sue them. You have the standing. I don't. I think it's bull. I think that if you believe in justice, justice is justice regardless. We all have an interest in seeing the law upheld, but who stands to lose the most from this? I think there's a very good case here, and I think this at least stands to go to trial. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
I get it, but but what happens if Warner Brothers can't? So they're hoping that Warner Brothers can't be sold to anybody, but then what happens to Warner Brothers? Because they're
the same thing that happens to any other company. Dying should not be your primary option. You need to fix the problem, get healthy, get the problems done. Or go out of business.
Or go out of business, yeah. But
and if you mismanage your business, damn, that's just too damn bad.
So basically, you're saying is they shouldn't be selling because they should just be going under, and they're trying to get a fat paycheck over the fact that they failed.
Exactly right. And yes. Here's the problem. You can't fall back on, we'll sell and just, make bigger and bigger corporations that can crush all of their competition.
Okay, I get this argument.
That should not be the option. Yeah.
I understand. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I guess I was just getting annoyed by this guy because I'm thinking Paramount is still better than Warner Brothers. Paramount isn't ideal either, but at least the back catalog would survive. They might even do better releases than Warner Brothers did on DVD. Paramount does believe in physical media. I've always said this about them. I may not like their Star Trek shows, but they do release them on physical media. Even the stuff they license out to Amazon, like Reacher, they will put those on physical media. Right. So they're not bad like that. and even with the theatrical, I remember going to see Mission Impossible and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in theaters, and they would have the actors come out and actually thank the audience and say, thank you for supporting this, coming out to the theater to see this and supporting this movie. And I don't know why other studios weren't doing that, because they're basically thanking the audience, saying that, you are important to us. And that was Paramount doing that.
Because sadly, there's too many studios that look down their nose at
Yeah.
people and go, you just need to consume what we give you to consume.
Now, I don't know how Paramount is going to be now with this new leadership, but I'm going to give them a chance, because what choice do I have? Then they would be the best potential rival for Disney. They probably would be, yeah, because they would have all this stuff. But frankly, I want them to get Star Trek under control, because
I hear you.
they just released that the Starfleet Academy show. You know what the kills me? A Starfleet Academy show could have been a great idea for a Star Trek show.
Well, if it had been done years ago when
Yes.
they originally pitched it, it became something so removed from anything actual Star Trek that it's now just laughable.
Because they did a couple episodes of TNG where they showed Wesley at the Academy, which I thought were interesting episodes, and just no.
And that was one of the places where they were considering doing a spinoff. There was also I don't know if they were going to do it as a movie or a series that would have been the idea that got reworked into the whole JJ verse. The idea of the original Kirk team at the Academy and whatnot. And it's like, you guys really just missed the window on all of that stuff.
Yeah, they did. We got that brief scene of him beating the Kobayashi Maru in the Abrams Star Trek.
Yeah.
Agent Moore, would you say that Paramount, it was paramount of them to make the fans their utmost important? It's just respect. Keep in mind, going out to a theater these days, especially when, frankly speaking, you can find alternative ways of watching movies. Not that I suggest. Well, I told you I was over a friend's house. And I'm like, he's going to a certain site, and I'm like, how are you able to stream this? This isn't even out in theaters over in North America.
Yeah,
yep. Like, oh, it's somewhere over in Latvia or something is hosting.
Yep.
And it's like, so you want to treat your paying customers like they're patrons, like we are patrons of the arts, and we'll support you if you give good product. Just do that. Moving on.
Yeah, it would be nice.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting Board votes to dissolve organization after Congress defunds NPR PBS. Now, I'm sorry, but I thought NPR PBS always did. We hardly get any money from the taxpayer. We're raising our own funds. Is that not true? They've been full of...
It has always been my impression that the vast... Well, my understanding of the actual budgeting is that about 10% of public broadcasting was paid for by tax dollars. The vast majority of it came from big corporate endowments. Corporate endowments that maybe in retrospect may have had some reason for wanting to push certain agendas. Maybe, just saying.
Just saying.
The Carnegie Foundation, just saying. But be that as it may, it is a real hit. They're going to cry about this as much as, USAID disappearing. So,
Yeah. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting announced its board voted to dissolve itself after 58 years as an organization after Congress voted last year to pull federal funding allocated to NPR and PBS. For more than half a century, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting existed to ensure that all Americans, regardless of geography, income, or background, had access to trusted news, educational programming, and local storytelling.
They clearly failed in that mission statement.
CPB President and CEO Patricia Harrison said in a statement Monday, when the administration and Congress rescinded federal funding, our board faced a profound responsibility. CPB's final act would be to protect the integrity of the public media system and the democratic values by dissolving rather than allowing the organization to remain defunded and vulnerable to additional attacks. What sounds like to me like they're hiding something, but anyway, What has happened to public media is devastating, CBB's board of directors chair Ruby Calvert said. After nearly 6 decades of innovative educational public television and radio service, Congress eliminated all funding for CBB, leaving the board with no way to continue the organization or support the public media system that depends on it. Yet, even in this moment, I am convinced that public media will survive and that a new Congress will address public media's role in our country because it is critical for our children's education, our history, culture, and democracy to do so.
Yeah, that's a great line, except that the existence of PBS back in the 60s and 70s was before we had the technology that we did for getting information out. Now we have the internet, and the internet is far more democratized than big companies deciding what truths they're going to share with us.
Yes.
That's what this is what it is all about, my friends. It's about power. It is not about you. It is not about educating you or making sure that everyone has a fair shake. No, it's about controlling the narrative is what it is.
Looks like NPR CEO Catherine Meyer and PBS CEO Paula Kerger staunchly defended their media organizations while testifying in Capitol Hill in March. Both faced tough questions from Republicans over past allegations of bias and promoting far-left ideologies.
Gee,
Okay.
shocker. I would never have guessed that was happening.
Anyway, I'm all broken up sarcasm. Well, here's another thing, too. You kept bringing up all this British programming. A lot of that stuff is on streaming things that you pay for now. BritBox has a lot of these shows. So does
That's the other
Acorn.
irony. You sold off Sesame Street so that it is now hidden behind a paywall. You're not reaching anybody.
Yeah, but yeah. So
love to know how you justify dollars for Sesame Street now.
So now we're not going to hear this has been supported by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. We're not going to hear that anymore. I haven't watched PBS in ages. Because, like I said, everything's on everything else. I think the only thing I watch on PBS is All Creatures Great and Small, which oddly enough is a what's that pay station over in Britain? Not BBC, the other one begins with an A. Never mind.
Oh, that I don't know.
I don't know. They were one of the few pay stations they had over there. The ones that did Space 1999. They would give things a budget, unlike the BBC. All right. Moving on to Buffy update. Sarah Michelle.
Yeah, I knew nothing about this. I was surprised when you sent this to me.
I did not. It just broke when I had sent it. Sarah Michelle Gellar says Buffy the Vampire Slayer, New Sunnydale is not a sequel. It's not a reboot. Reveals why it's taking a long time. Sarah Michelle Gellar is clearing things up about the Buffy the Vampire Slayer continuation series she's working on with Chloe Zhao. Hulu ordered a pilot for the series that Gellar starred in for 7 seasons, and in a new interview revealed that the title of the new show is Buffy the Vampire Slayer New Sunnydale. It's not a sequel, it's not a reboot, it's a continuation, Gellar said on the Shut Up.
That's a sequel then. Then she's parsing words then. Then it is a sequel.
No, it's not a sequel, it's a continuation.
Yeah.
Just like Star Trek 3 wasn't a sequel, even though it says it was a continuation because it says the human adventure continues.
Right, exactly.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
A sequel is a continuation.
I know.
That's what it is. Gellar said the series will answer the questions of where Buffy is now in this world and what is this world that Buffy lives in with her and without her, adding, so it's not a reboot. It's not a reboot. It's not picking up with all the same characters right away. It is not like a sequel. That's why the name was even more important to me. Buffy New Sunnydale. It's Buffy, but it's also something else. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Is this a multiverse version where there's an alternative Sunnydale? What is she talking about?
Well, no. That I can respond to. New Sunnydale, because at the end of the original series, Sunnydale was literally destroyed
because of the
town.
Hellmouth. Yes.
Yeah, the town literally needed to be rebuilt.
They had evacuated the town. I remember that. Yeah,
Right.
so to get everyone out of there, and then they destroyed the Hellmouth, and
Yep.
the town went with it. Um, although Geller did reveal anything new, she did say that she learned a hard lesson in life about the saying "never say never" when she was initially opposed to retaking the character. "I will eat my words, and I'm okay with that. I learned my lesson," she said. "I never saw how and why it could be as good as the original series. I'm not trying to be better. I just want to hold and honor the memory of what we created."
Can
Uh,
I translate that for you?
yeah.
I said that I would never ever do this again because I was sick and tired of being typecast, but now I haven't done squat in over 2 decades and I want a paycheck. So, yay, let's get pumped up about this.
I think she was on some werewolf series.
Non-sequel continuation.
Um,
I'll tell you another problem with that, not being a sequel but a continuation. How is it going to be a continuation if Joss Whedon isn't involved? Tell me that, Blondie.
he's on the outs because of the whole dust up with the Justice League movie.
I understand, but then it's not a continuation, is it? Because it was his story that he was telling.
Which
these people have don't even get me started.
But Chloe Zhao, I think she's the one that directed the Eternals for Marvel, right?
Yes, which was such a great success. Looking for more from her.
Does anyone talk about the Eternals anymore? Did that make a blip in the whole Marvel thing? It came and then no one.
It was
discussed.
An insult to Jack Kirby.
Okay, all right.
Or the memory of Jack Kirby. I mean, he didn't care. He's dead.
Okay, I'm just trying to be better. I just want to hold the honor, the memory of what we created. I know sometimes that memory is conflicted for people about how they're supposed to feel about it. But a lot of people,
that's her taking a poke at. No, she's taking a poke at Joss Whedon.
Oh man,
she's trying to pull some #MeToo cred here, because that's all it ever was. It never really was about addressing real problems. It was just poor me. Let's all focus on me and give me power in Hollywood.
Well, a sequel is a continuation. A continuation is a sequel. Enough said about that.
Yeah.
Well, it is and it isn't if I say it is. All right.
Yeah. Well, if you're starring in it and you know you know the English language better than I do because it means what you say it means. Apparently, that's how this works these days.
Well, it depends on what the definition of is or it.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
right.
that was. Joss Whedon isn't involved. Isn't a continuation. I don't know. Well, here's what it is. I will say this, that I always treated Ash versus the Evil Dead, but I actually liked Ash versus the Evil Dead. I thought it was a great show. That I did kind of treat it as apocryphal, like maybe this is a what if happened with this character. But I still enjoyed it immensely because frankly Ash was stupider in the series than he was even in the movies, if that was possible. No, he okay, I'm spoiling the end of the first season, but there's this witch character played by Lucy Lawless, and she says, "Look, Ash, just give me the book, and we'll leave everything alone. Nothing bad will happen. Just give me the book." And he says, "You'll leave us alone? Yes, I can go move down to Jacksonville with my friends, and you're not going to do anything bad?" No, and he gives her the Book of the Dead, and it's like
exactly.
And then the beginning of season 2, it's like, whoa, she lied to me. She's doing stuff with the book. It's like. So bad.
But you know what? If that's the tone that they're going for, It's like, okay, this is what makes the story happen. Let's go with it.
He's an idiot, but he's really good at killing these possessed zombie things, these undead things. He's very good at the combat. That's why he survives. It's not because he's smart. He's I guess
he's the kind of character, and there's a trope for this. He's an idiot, but he's got dumb luck on his side too.
Kind of. Ash vs. Evil Dead was awesome. Yes, it was. I did enjoy that show a lot. Too bad it only got 3 seasons, but I kind of liked how they ended it too. I think it was satisfying enough as it was. You know what it felt like too, because each episode ended on a cliffhanger. It was almost like watching like a Saturday afternoon serial, like because each episode was only
Yeah.
like a half hour long. So it
I
would
get
always
you,
end on
yeah.
this new cliffhanger and something, So it would be.
I get you.
All right, so moving on to Netflix. Let's see what's coming up this year.
They got a lot of stuff happening. So somebody, one of our regular contributors, tagged me in a little promo clip that Netflix was doing on social media. I checked it out, and it was like this. I remember they used to do this on network television. They'd have this little dramatization that would take you through all the different shows that are coming up in the new season. Netflix kind of does this with this this girl who ends up, she goes to a tarot card reading,
fortune
and
teller, gotcha. Yeah, okay.
Fortune teller, yeah, and she chooses the card, and all kinds of craziness happens, and she ends up falling into all the different shows that are going to be on Netflix. And it's the whole thing was kind of I felt like it was trying to capitalize on the whole what's it called, a Stranger Things thing. So I originally thought this was something related to the spin-off of Stranger Things, and then I realized, oh, they're using like a Stranger Things motif to do,
Right.
a promo for everything they got coming up. I'm like, okay, I'm not interested in any of this now. I'm done. Yeah.
Avatar is going to be garbage. They drove off the creators and kept going. I hate it when they do that. That happened.
Yeah.
Well, that happened with Henry Cavill in The Witcher. They drove off the actor.
Right. Right.
Yes. Netflix has officially unveiled its massive slate 2026, featuring the final seasons of heavy hitters like The Witcher and Outer Banks, the return of Stranger Things in animated form, and new movies from Greta Gerwig and Ben Affleck. It's weird. I watched the trailer for that Stranger Things animated, and it's strange because I just finished watching the series, and it's like, well, that sort of had a final ending. Do you understand? To like the thing,
it did, and apparently this.
Yeah.
Lynn Green was telling me in the comments of one of the videos where we talked about it. She said, "Oh yeah, no, this is a cartoon with all the main characters taking place between, I don't remember when,
seasons 2 and 3,
season 2 and 3." And I'm like, why the hell do we need that? We know where it's going. We don't need a cartoon that takes place in that period. If you're not going back and doing the prequel, which is basically the live action play that they're doing in England,
right?
Or a complete spin-off that has nothing to do with these characters but is set in the same world, who the hell cares?
Anyway, yeah, well, I don't know, but who knows? It's either going to be something neat or something not, I guess. I don't know. Three Body Problem season 2 is coming out. Excited? You like Three Body Problem?
Never saw it. Never heard.
As the alien invasion nears, humanity prepares on Earth or elsewhere. I think I saw a scene from that. Avatar: Last Airbender season 2, which apparently they got rid of the main.
Yeah.
Beef season 2. Beef.
I have no idea what that could be.
Bridgerton.
I hear the women like that one.
The Lincoln Lawyer season 4. Is that a Grisham novel, as I recall?
No idea.
One Piece Into the Grand Line. One Piece I heard was decent. That was an anime adaptation. People seem to like that one, but I didn't see it myself. Survival of the Thickest. Michelle Buteau returns as stylist Mavis. I've not heard of any of these things. Sweet Magnolia season 5.
Yeah, I don't know any of this. We're bringing you the news because it's news, but it's up to you to tell us if this is at all meaningful to any of you.
Witcher season 5, the final season.
I can't believe that it's gone that long without Henry Cavill.
Agatha Christie, Seven Dials. That might be good. A witty mystery set in 1925 England, starring Mia McKenna Bruce and Helena Bonham Carter. Huh? That might
interesting. Have they swapped all the genders and
probably,
races of the characters too?
Probably.
Yeah, something to look forward to then. Yeah.
I don't know. The Burrows, a supernatural series from the Duffer Brothers set in a retirement community. Okay, so the Duffer Brothers are doing. Wow, they're going the opposite of Stranger Things. They're doing retirees. Is that right? Instead
I
of
wonder
kids?
if there's going to be nods to Cocoon or something like that.
Maybe that's what they're thinking. Yeah.
That would be great. I'd actually kind of be fired up about that.
Let's see here. The East of Eden, a modern adaptation of Steinbeck's masterpiece starring Florence Pugh.
You lost me at modern adaptation of.
Okay, I'm gonna get you. Legends, UK period drama from Neil Forsyth following customs officers participating in a top secret operation. Sure, it'll be against a certain German group. Anyway, Man on Fire. Yaha Abdul Matin II stars as John Creasy in this series adaptation. Is this based on the Denzel Washington movie?
No idea.
Remember that one? You ever see that movie?
I don't think so.
It was the funniest thing. I watched it with my mom. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here. I think like Denzel Washington plays like he's like ex-CIA or something, but he's hired by this Mexican businessman and to protect his daughter, played by Dakota Fanning. And like he's supposed to be her bodyguard, right? Basically, right?
Okay.
And he's worried that the cartels are going to kidnap her and hold her for ransom and charge money for him, whatever. So there's one scene in the movie where basically the cartel gets the better of him, shoots him and kidnaps her, and she shoots him, but he's still alive. And then my mom said, they just made a big mistake. And they kind of did, because I'm sorry. At the end of the movie, it says, "We'd like to thank the good people of Mexico City for helping us helping us make this production." I'm like, you're thanking them. You killed all of them. That's what this movie is. It's so bad. It's just Denzel Washington opening up holy hell on these cartel guys throughout the rest of the movie. Let's see. New and returning animated series. Devil May Cry Season 2. I heard the first season was hot garbage.
Yeah,
I guess the demons were bad in the U.S. military. Were good in the U.S. military. Were the real villains?
probably. Probably.
Sesame Street, a reimagined series featuring fan favorite segments. What on earth does that mean?
You lose me at reimagined, and do not screw around with the with Sesame Street. That screw you guys. No.
Everything's in Big Bird's head. He's in an asylum somewhere, and there is no
Yeah.
Sesame Street, directed by Ryan Johnson. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, that
Okay.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Let's see. 11817, a sci-fi thriller about a family being trapped in their home. That sounds neat, huh? That's a movie. Let's see. The Holidays, a time loop holiday film. There you go, a time travel holiday movie, huh?
You know, I would really rather see if you're going to do a time travel holiday movie, I want a sequel to Krampus.
That'd be interesting. That's a movie I could actually see them doing. I'd be interested if they did do a sequel to that.
I know, right?
Narnia. Greta Gerwig's adaptation of C.S. Lewis classic. Notice how it's not the Chronicles of Narnia. It's just Narnia.
Right.
I'm terrified for what they're going to do to Narnia. This is the Barbie director doing Narnia for Netflix.
It's going to be hot garbage. I mean, there's just no doubt about it.
The Rip, action thriller starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. That might be interesting. Apparently that comes out. The Rip, action thriller starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, releases January 16th. That's this weekend. Maybe I will check that out. We'll see. Swapped, an animated body swap comedy voiced by Michael B. Jordan. I guess it's like an animated. Maybe that's their next K-pop Demon Hunters, or they're trying to make it be. Documentary films coming. A Gorilla Story, told by David Attenborough. They need to get rid of that guy. Didn't the BBC get rid of him, actually?
Don't know.
We don't need him narrating things anymore in this modern age. Okay. Let me see here. New international series, Boyfriend on Demand in Korea, a virtual dating rom-com starring Jisoo. Okay, let's ignore. Unscripted reality. Let's see. I'm going to wrap this up. But Love is Blind, season 10. Wasn't that show where the guy's trying to marry the girl and she breaks up with him at the altar because he wasn't full on supporting the BLM movement? Wasn't that
Oh,
that
gosh.
event? Remember that? Okay.
I don't remember it, but yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh,
Really.
WWE Monday Night Raw. They're going to do weekly live wrestling. Okay. Anyway, I think that's it for Netflix. If I missed anything, apparently a bunch of Major
I
League
wish it was it
Baseball
for
teams.
Netflix. I wish Netflix would just freaking go away, but
Okay.
that's
Well,
just me.
Conan O'Brien. He's
Yeah.
next.
He was the one holdout for not being a dumbass and completely destroying his cred as a host. But nope, he decided he's going all in, and
Who?
here we go.
Who? Conan?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Okay, let me read this. Comedian, former late night host Conan O'Brien criticized comics who are more focused on screaming about President Donald Trump than on being funny. Well, I think that's a legitimate criticism.
Well, that's true. Yes.
Yeah, during an interview with the Oxford Union on Tuesday, O'Brien was asked about Trump's impact on comedy. He disagreed with the idea that Trump as president was good for comics, claiming that Trump's habit of talking crazy made it difficult to pin him down for a satire parody. He added that the opposite position, constantly attacking Trump for his comments, also undermines comedy. Some comics go the route of I'm just going to say F Trump all the time, and that's their comedy. And I think, well,
Okay. So
yeah.
I
Oh, he
I
wasn't
made an
saying that. You
assumption-
thought he was saying that.
I made an assumption based on the headline. Okay, fair enough.
Okay,
That's
like I don't.
clickbaity. That is clickbaity,
I know.
though.
Yeah, I don't know what his opinion is on Trump personally, but he's just saying that this whole thing of the comedians constantly just going after him all night. He says you've been lulled. It's like a siren lowering you in the rocks. You've been lulled into saying F Trump, and Trump, screw this guy. And I think now you've put down your best weapon, which is being funny, and you've exchanged it for anger. He continued, and that person or any person like that would say, well, things are too serious now. I don't need to be funny. And I think, well, if you're a comedian, you always need to be funny. You just have to find a way, and you have to find a way to channel that anger into a way, because good art will always be a great weapon, whether it'll be perfect weapon against power. If you're just screaming and you're just angry, you've lost your best tool in the toolbox. I mean, I don't know. I remember Bill Maher back in the day. He when he was doing his new rule segments, he did something about Bush, and he says, our next president must have lips, because I guess George W. Bush didn't have real big lips. Okay, but O'Brien is less upfront about whether he believes comedians need to use comedy to address political issues, calling it a tricky situation. The answer to that is no. I have very strong political feelings and views. My comedy is something that I don't have that kind of control over, O'Brien says. In a way, there's so much of what I've done in my life, and that's impulse. O'Brien expressed some strong political feelings during the interview, accusing the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, of putting his hand on the scale to have Jimmy Kimmel briefly suspended. What did that mean? Oh, the scale of justice.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. And like I said, he's probably not a fan of Trump, but he was actually arguing that this incessant late night just going after him has not been good for their brand or their comedy, which I agree with. So
exactly, a lot of people have been saying that, so that's fair. Okay, yeah. I'll continue to accept that Conan maybe is still a worthwhile potential host if you're going to continue this whole network late night thing.
They're not going to continue it. It's done.
No, it probably is. But if he's smart, though, he's going to continue in this vein so that he can still position for something in the future.
So what was Leno? That was Jay Leno. That was NBC, correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Leno said he was stepping down from the Tonight Show, right? Or not the Tonight Show, the
whatever show it was. Yeah.
And Conan O'Brien was going to take over that spot, and he did. And they gave Jay Leno a primetime show, like I think at 10 o'clock or something. And then people tuned out because they didn't want to watch a late night style show at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. And then Jay Leno said, well,
heaven forbid you should stay up late and watch a late night show, but okay.
Well, not only that, but Jay Leno, then, you know what he did? He said, well, I want my old spot back. Well, he acted like he didn't do that, but then Conan got kicked out of the spot, and Conan got angry. And I think they were going to give Conan his late spot back, and he's like, no, I'm just done. I'm going to TNT. And then Jay Leno got the spot back, and I think Jay Leno eventually finally left anyway. So it was a big disaster. It was I always liked Conan, though. I thought his gags were funny. When the dust settles, the only night show that will stand up will be Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. That's only because of the legacy. Okay, so Fallon took that over. Okay. Fallon. I can't be. There are things I want to say about Fallon. But I'll stop. I always like Craig Ferguson. I thought he was good.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there.
He was good with it.
I still watch clips of his show
Yeah.
and laugh.
Yeah, I mean Johnny Carson Newby limited himself on Nixon jokes after a while. Yeah, because it just gets because you're pontificating politics and you're not doing comedy at that point. That's the problem. I don't like being preached at constantly. Even if it was politics I agreed with, I still wouldn't want to be preached at constantly.
Eventually, you're like, okay,
I get it.
We get it. You can move on now. I'm done with this. Yeah.
This one you sent me, Major League Baseball teams.
Yeah, somebody sent that one to me, and I'm like, you know what? We don't do a lot of sports on this channel. It's entertainment. Let's throw in a sports segment.
9 Major League Baseball teams end deals with Main Street Sports Group. Yikes. In response to more financial instability from the regional sports network operator and in hopes of providing themselves with much needed flexibility, 9 Major League Baseball teams have terminated their contracts with Main Street Sports Group, sources told ESPN on Thursday. Main Street, which holds 29 NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball teams in its portfolio and broadcasts on their names under the name FanDuel Sports, emerged from a lengthy bankruptcy proceeding at the start of 2025, but finds itself in deep financial trouble once again. Recent reports from Sports Business Journal stated that the company will dissolve at the end of the current NBA NHL seasons if it doesn't execute a sale to another platform. The state of flux prompted all 9 Major League Baseball teams on their portfolio: the Atlanta Braves, Cincinnati Reds, Detroit Tigers, Kansas City Royals, Los Angeles Angels, Miami Marlins, Milwaukee Brewers, St. Louis Cardinals, and Tampa Bay Rays to terminate their original deals with Main Street. All those teams could return to the RSN operator if it finds another buyer and improves its outlook for the 2026 season. Sources said opting out now, though, gives those teams the flexibility to explore other alternatives in the meantime, including the possibility of joining Major League Baseball. It also protects them in case the company goes through another bankruptcy, through a source with Main Street recently depicted as it is unlikely. In a statement, a spokesperson for Main Street wrote, "We remain in active dialogue with all of our Major League Baseball partners regarding potential revised terms of our agreements going forward." Okay. Any thoughts?
Yeah, this is unfortunately one of those ones that I know not enough about.
It's not my wheelhouse, but it sounds like there's trouble with a lot of these
And I wouldn't be surprised if someone knows more about this. Maybe we should check out a channel like Joe's Atmosphere. I know he talks a lot of sports.
Maybe you want to give your 2 cents on this.
I wonder if this is in some way related to a lot of these other studio-related things that we've been talking about. With the jockeying around for properties and so forth.
Well, it was a horrible thing that I watched. This one guy was explaining how because of the way cable deals work and streaming deals work, he couldn't watch his local team anywhere.
Yeah.
He couldn't watch it through streaming. He couldn't watch it because he would buy these stream packages. No, we're not licensed for that team or something. And then he tried watching the TV, and there was some strike going on. And it's like he was going through all this.
Now,
he just wants to watch the game, and he's not allowed to do it through all these things.
I can speak a little bit to this because I do remember my grandfather talking about this. My grandfather famously was a big Sox fan. He had friends who were Cubs fans, and they butt heads and whatnot. And he would talk about how annoying it was when he was in town. He couldn't watch the Sox games, but it was easier for him living in Ohio to be able to watch the Sox because, and his speculation on that was that they made it impossible for you to watch it if you're local because they want you to go to the park and buy a ticket.
I didn't even think about that. That's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak to the business model. There's a logical business part of my head that says, I guess I kind of see that. But how many people are actually going to the parks to watch these games, especially in some of the neighborhoods that they're in?
Yet they could always preempt Smallville with baseball.
That's another great point, that a lot of times there were games that they would have that, I don't know about Smallville, but it was, for me, it was Deep Space Nine.
That
I
too.
still haven't seen like half of Deep Space Nine because living in Chicago, it was on WGN, which meant that the Cubs were always, and another reason for me not to.
That happened to me with Xena.
Oh, yeah?
I ended up, because they kept shifting the time on that one. I just gave up on it because I watched it for the first couple seasons, and then it just Xena Warrior Princess with Lucy Lawless.
Right. Yep. This is the
Um,
second time you've mentioned Lucy Lawless tonight.
well, she's a good-looking woman.
I don't
I'll
believe
say
in
that.
coincidence.
I liked her. I'll be honest with you. I think
Yep.
she had great eyes.
Yes.
She had these weird pale blue eyes, even though she had like darker
She
features.
would have
But
been,
fascinating.
if Warner
Yep.
Brothers hadn't been such dumbasses for so long, she
I
would
know
have
what you're
made a
saying.
perfect Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, yes. And I at least appreciate the fact when they did that one animated movie, they cast Lucy Lawless as the
Yep.
voice of Wonder Woman, and they cast Kyle MacLachlan as the voice of Superman, which I thought was interesting. So yeah, that was good picking on that. Moving on to what do we have next? The Wonderful World of Lego. Apparently, this is causing a disruption in the Lego community. Did you know this?
No, I didn't.
Hold on. I got to bring up the article because I copied the Major League Baseball thing again. Just give me a minute while it slowly loads. There we go. Lego unveils smart brick sets that will bring your creations to life. In brief, Lego unveiled Lego Smart Play at CES 2026, a new screen-free platform that lets Lego builds respond to physical play in real time. Now, how is that possible, you may ask? So on Monday,
I do ask. How do they do that?
Okay, so on Monday, the company launched Lego Smart Play, a new interactive play platform designed to bring Lego creations to life through responsive screen-free technology. The product series was unveiled at the Consumer Electronics Show and represents one of the most significant evolutions in the Lego brand since the introduction of Lego minifigure in 1978. At the heart of Lego Smart Play is the Lego Smart Brick, a newly developed component that will allow Lego builds to respond to physical interactions for the first time. My question is, how much RAM does that have? It's a joke.
Oh, God, right?
The brick contains a custom-made chip smaller than a standard Lego stud and incorporates sensors, accelerometers, light and sound detection, a miniature speaker with an onboard synthesizer, and wireless charging capabilities. Are you for real?
Wow.
Unlike app-based or screen-led toys, the company said Lego Smart Play is designed to support open-ended physical play. The technology works invisibly within the builds and remains compatible with the existing Lego systems in play, allowing traditional Lego bricks to be combined with the new smart components. The launch of Lego Smart Play brings creativity, technology, and storytelling together to make building worlds and stories even more engaging, and all without a screen. Tom Donaldson, the senior vice president and head of Creative Play Lab at Lego Group, said, "We truly believe we are setting a new standard for interactive, imaginative experiences and can't wait to see this innovation in the hands of kids when we launch this year." So I guess the first of these sets are the Star Wars sets. Lego Smart Play will make its debut with 3 all-in-one Lego Star Wars building sets. We've worked with our incredible friends at Lucasfilm for over 25 years, and our focus has always remained on creating original, unique experiences for the fan community through our sets. With Lego Smart Play, legendary stories and characters of the Star Wars galaxy to come to life like never before, says Julia Golden, Chief Product and Marketing Officer at Lego. All 3 Star Wars building sets come with a Lego Smart Brick and with a charger for at least one Lego Smart minifigure and Lego Smart Tag. Fans can unlock smart features such as lightsaber hums. You hear that?
Yeah.
With the smart minifigures of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, the engine roar of an A-Wing, or listen to the Imperial March with Emperor Palpatine sitting on his throne. The Lego Star Wars sets will be available for pre-order from January 9th and available to purchase on March 1st, 2026. Could Smart Play appear on Lego Masters? The new Lego arrives at the time when rapid advances in technology are reshaping toys and games. While it's unclear whether Lego Smart Play will appear in the next edition of Lego Masters on Fox, it would certainly expand the types of challenges that the contestants would be able to do. Last year, the network ordered 6th season of the competition show and announced that Nick Cannon would take over as host. Will Arnett hosted the first 5 seasons of Lego Masters. Do you know why Will Arnett hosted it?
No.
He was the voice of the Lego Batman in the Lego movie.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
that
sense.
makes
Sure.
sense. Yeah. I don't know. There are some people in the community though they're not happy about this. They want these toys to be technology free. They don't like technology and everything, and they thought Lego was one of these bastions where it's purely not a technologically driven
Okay,
thing.
I understand. I understand that. I do, but at the same time, I'm going to say, didn't you kind of throw that out when they started putting in like battery powered motors and things into
And
some of the
lights. Yeah, they have a really
and
cool
lights
lighthouse
and
that
stuff
has a
like that?
light. Yeah.
And once you start down that path, forever will it dominate your destiny. You know.
Well, you may get that with
Exactly.
the
That's
Yoda
exactly
minifigure now.
right.
Okay.
And well, but and I mean, at the risk of being disrespectful to, this isn't my thing. I know there's other people that are real fanatics about this kind of stuff,
Right.
real purists, but
Yes.
there's people out there that are making, their own custom bricks and knockoff companies that make bricks that are compatible with, and those are illegal, those are impure. Well, you can gatekeep all you want.
Unclean.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact is, the whole idea behind Lego is building your own imagination, and that might actually mean going off platform and using a non-licensed brick, you know. And if we're going to start going down that path, then why can't Lego get in on the expansion idea? Oh, great! Lego's going to have Emperor Palpatine sitting on the toilet. Yes,
Better
yes.
still, you could take your Captain Picard figure and say Captain's log and then hear a flush.
Oh
I'm
gosh,
sorry, I
yeah,
couldn't resist.
Homer.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
sorry.
What kind of humor from Troy? From Troy.
Right, exactly.
I try to be better. I'll try to be better. I'm sorry. And our final story of the night. I
Right.
was kind of sad to hear about this actually.
Yeah,
I hope she's
yeah.
doing better.
This is bad.
Evangeline Lilly, known for Lost and the Hobbit movies, and she was also the Wasp and the Ant-Man movies.
Mm-hmm,
And a
mm-hmm.
shocking health revelation that stunned fans. A major Marvel star has confirmed she is living with brain damage following a freak accident earlier this year. Evangeline Lilly, best known for her roles in Ant-Man and Lost, previously revealed that she suffered a traumatic brain injury after fainting and falling face first into a boulder. Now, after undergoing extensive medical testing, the actress has revealed that the long-term impact of the incident is more severe than initially believed. In a video posted on to Instagram at the start of the new year, Lily shared an update on her condition. She said, "It's late on January 1st, the first day of 2026, and I'm entering into this new year, the year of the horse, with some bad news about my concussion. The results came back from my scans, and I missed every area, and my brain is functioning at a decreased capacity." She added, "So I do have brain damage from the TBI and possibly other factors going in." The 46-year-old actress acknowledged that the path forward would require significant medical attention and dedication. Now, my job is to get to the bottom of that with the doctors and then embark on hard work to fixing it, she said, adding, "I don't look forward to it because I feel like hard work is all I do." But not that I want to give her advice, but I want to say your health is most important right now. I do feel terrible about this, though. This is awful. Despite the alarming diagnostic, Lily noted that the injury has forced her to slow down in ways she never had before. "My cognitive decline since I smashed my face has helped me to slow down and helped me to have a more restful finish 2025," she explained. And Lily added, "That's a good thing. I'm feeling extraordinarily grateful and blessed to be able to play one more day, one more year on this beautiful living planet." Yeah, so basically, so they're calling it she admits the journey ahead will be a challenging, calling it an uphill battle to reverse the injury after her concussion. So, yeah, uh, you know, I've always liked Evangeline Lilly. She was on Lost for a
Yeah.
number of seasons. She was Kate on Lost, and it's funny. She married one of the actors who played the Hobbit in the Hobbit movies. Was it
One of
Merry or
those four
Pippin?
guys.
It
Yeah.
was Merry or
Yeah.
Pippin, the one who played Charlie on Lost. She married him.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
British actor.
Yeah, Mayhem or something like that is his last name.
I wouldn't
so.
know. They were both. He was from New Zealand, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
Right.
but
Well, I really do feel bad. My heart really does go out to her. But one thing I can say though is she has a diminished mental capacity from the TBI, which is, I don't know, more honest than all of her compatriots who have diminished mental capability from the TDS.
Yes, that's true. But bump, yes. Better than my log joke. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't go for the low-hanging fruit on that one. The low-hanging dingleberries.
That would have made more sense with Kirk. Picard's too dignified to do that too.
Right.
Picard. But yeah, no, yeah, just I wish her recovery, and hope she's getting the best treatment she can get. And
Agreed.
I don't know, and I'd hate to think she was in that last Ant-Man, the Quantumania, which I heard was not. Was such a beautiful woman whose accident has, in essence, ruined her acting career. I'm sorry to hear that. It's awful.
This is probably the other thing that really bothers me the most about. We talk about this all the time when we talk about their unions and the strikes and all this kind of stuff. But I always bring up, you guys have to understand that these actors are effectively independent contractors.
Works for hire, yeah.
When you consider what I do on YouTube, I kind of understand that. If I wasn't married to someone who was working a regular job for insurance and so on and so forth with a regular salary, I couldn't do this because, I don't care how much money she's made in her acting career. You have medical situations, you have anything come up, living paycheck to paycheck. It's not easy. A lot of these people are not as wealthy as you might think that they are. And that money tends to disappear if they don't have some other means of supporting themselves in between gigs. And then when something like this happens, that you're probably right, is probably going to end her acting career. What does she do? What is her fallback? Well, she's married too, so maybe there's that.
She has royalties from Lost too. Of course, it's Disney. Who knows what they're not great with royalties, are they?
But then again, the other thing too is the entire industry is kind of collapsing. So even if she didn't have this, I guess you got to call it a handicap. There's less roles out there now, which is kind of something I alluded to with Sarah Michelle Gellar going back to playing Buffy, so
she'll be drinking blue milk from some demonic walrus or something. I'm kidding.
Yeah, probably.
I don't do that anymore. I don't do the vampire slaying anymore.
Right.
So Geek Flag is heading out, and so are we. But
we got to get you over to Deleted Scenes for his what's it called? Reserved seats. Where am I mistaken? Isn't Curtis Elby his guest tonight, the Tired Midnight Blogger?
Oh, excellent. Okay. So yeah, be sure to tune into that, and I'll probably be tuning in myself in a minute. But so what you got going on tomorrow though? You got the Monday night of the movies, right?
Well, actually, I've even before that.
Well, that's right, Doctor Who's tonight. That's right.
This is the second week I'm doing Doctor Who. Maybe this stream won't get taken down because of BBC's draconian copyright.
Well, considering you weren't showing anything on YouTube, right? I mean,
well, no, I did a little clip of
wow,
the TARDIS sound, that little 20-second sound of keys being scraped over piano wires is enough.
Wow,
apparently. So yeah.
Okay, well, good.
But so yeah, tonight we wrap up the introductory story arc that started it all. Started with the Unearthly Child, then they went to a prehistoric era to see potentially the first people to use fire. And maybe they do, maybe they don't have an impact.
Doctor is interfering as usual.
Well, interestingly, we'll get to that. The whole idea of whether or not you could change history was still an open question at this point in Doctor.
According to these logs, the human race was supposed to discover fire for another 300 years. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So that's all, folks. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And tomorrow you'll have your
Liquid Lunch
yes, liquid lunch.
every afternoon at noon Central. And then tomorrow night, members night at the movies. Guys, Tenet won out, so we're going to be watching Tenet tomorrow night.
Oh, I'll like to hear what you think of that
And
later.
for my members, I'm going to put up another poll. I think trivia went out last I looked. So now it's a matter of choosing which day. So I'll be putting up a poll on my stream on my channel for my members to pick which day they would like the members only night to be. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. I'll try to get it up within the next 10 minutes or so.
And let's see, Tuesday's the busy night because Tuesday, you're going to have to check with Deleted tonight about whether or not he's got his secret movie night beforehand. But then at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern is live from Sparkwood and 21, followed by the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes at 9 o'clock Central. That's Tuesday. Thursday, Netters Network has a guest.
Yes, I do. My special guest is Wookiees, Movies, and Music.
There you go. Friday, you and I will be talking AI.
Yes.
Yep, we're going to get back into that. There have been a lot of articles that we need to cover on that. And then Saturday, over on Big Al Presents Films with Friends, The Shape of Water. The very good, but also kind of really icky if you think about it too much fish story. And that is the week in review here. We got to get you over there. So let's wrap this up.
All right. Y'all have a good week, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.